Hello, good morning. I'm Andrew Jenkins, and this is a short countdown timer to help the various feeds catch up and settle down, folks. We're never quite sure whether we go live or not on the day, but we think we're live, and we're hoping that we'll get comments this morning coming through our system. So we can't wait for today's groovy show, peeps. And it's Valentine's Day today, yeah! And we'll be spreading the love by hanging out with my mate, entrepreneur with a difference, the ever so infectious and amazing Mr. Paul Brown, CEO of Magical Mayhem. So yeah, we're looking forward to that. So give us a quick wave, Paul.
Whoop, whoop.
Whoop, whoop, whoop. There it is. And it looks like we're live. So let's just hook onto that. Yeah, it looks like we're live. Whoops. Super. We're just waiting for people to join us. Oh, good morning, Jonas. Yeah, we got comments. Hooray! Fantastic. So, yeah, and Mrs. Moderator herself, give us a wave, Sarah. Brilliant, thank you. And we have Tilly's gang from Marketing CX in the background, just in case the comments don't come through our end. So that's the team this morning, along with our sponsors, Ghost. So good morning, David from Ghost, and good morning from the Isle of Wight, aka the South Island. Hello, Kieran. I think that's Kieran anyway. So it must be Kieran. Yep, loads of people joining right now. So we have Paul Brown, we've got me, we've got Sarah, we've got Ghost, our sponsors, and Marketing CX, our team today. And here's our intro. Yeah. Hope you like the groovy intro, folks. We love that intro. So, oi, oi, people, and hi, gang. It's Leaders Live showtime, folks. Good morning, Bradley Riddle, new to the show. Good morning, Maria Jeffers, and good morning, Tilly Davis. And so we are live with Leaders Live this morning, spreading the love, folks. Yappa dabba do. Good morning, Mateus. Fantastic. So I hope you enjoyed that groovy opener, as I said. And this week, we're delighted that we are being powered by, well, like every week's, we're being powered by our sponsor, brand and design agency, Ghost. We'll hear a little bit more about them later. And, oh, please let us know if our audio is coming through okay too, folks. That would be handy. And if you're new to Leaders Live, a warm welcome to you. And I'm Andrew Jenkins, as I said earlier, and Leaders Live is a dynamic weekly talk show that generates business through networking, community, and extraordinary conversations that inspire. That's what we do around here. That's how we roll. And as I mentioned in the countdown, it's an interactive weekly show, and it's built an awesome community of like-minded leaders. And so as Bradley Riddle said, Riedel, not Riddle. So there we go. So, thank you. So Riedel, apologies, Bradley. So Riedel, sorry. So we've got 3 simple rules. We need 8. We want a safe community. We've got mutual respect, and please no selling in the room. So please join in, interact with the comments, chat, ask questions as we go along too. That's fantastic. I can see Tilly's already posted some stuff in for us, so that's brilliant. And our motto here at Leaders Live is I to the power of we. And as usual, we're streaming out on all this social media channels like Facebook and on our leaderslive.tv website as well. Don't you just love tech when it works? And you can, not only that, but if you can't catch us live, then there's the replay as well, folks, and there's podcast too. Gosh, fantastic, endless stuff. And now, look, I'm sure you'll appreciate there's a huge amount of work that goes into, and love that goes into producing this high-quality, free Leaders Live business show every week for you guys. And one really easy way you can give back to us and appreciate and love the show is to use the app called buymeacoffee.com/Leaders Live. And if you buy me 5, you get a free half-hour coaching session, folks. What's not to like about that? And Sarah will put the link in the feed, or somebody will. Tilly's doing it at the moment. So, and you get a shout out too. And it looks a bit like this, actually, if I can find it. Let's see if I can find it. Yeah, here's a little test. Hey, there we go. It wasn't working last week, so just to prove it's working this week. And there's a QR code as well to make it easy, no faffing. So all the proceeds go back to the show to make it even more better, just so you know. And where are we? So smash those likes too, folks, and we'd really appreciate that. That keeps us motivated to love that bell. And we love you to subscribe to our email subscription list as well, so you can get notifications. And to make it really simple, we've got a single link tree URL that you can use to contact us, and that'll go in the link as well very shortly. Sarah will pop it in, or Tilly will pop it in. So, Phew, put it all together. What have you got? Yep, you've got it. Bibbidi, bibbidi, bobbidi, boo. And you'll be singing that forever. Oh, dear. I'm still getting corrected by Rydell. And good morning, John Attridge. Good morning, Elaine Godley as well. And so let's bring in our guests. So, good morning, Paul Brown. How you doing, mate?
Happy Valentine's Day.
Yeah. Did you get a Valentine's card this morning?
No.
Oh.
Well, she might bring what I was fast asleep when my wife is mental early. She's up at 6:30 and out the door. So
okay.
I may have one lurking around the house somewhere.
You may have one later on. Okay. So I've known Paul for around 20 years now, and we've done loads of things together in business as well as being good mates. And as we've said, it's Valentine's Day today, and our theme this morning is all about passion, right, Paul? How to turn your passion into a successful business. I think that deserves a... Ooh. So, Paul, set the scene for us. Kick us off. Where's our direction of travel today, Paul? Go for it. Give us a quick intro into where we're heading.
I think it is, as you said, it is all about passion.
Yeah.
Today we're gonna look a little bit deeper into maybe a different business world that some of you are involved in, which is being a magician. And without passion, I don't think I'd be anywhere as successful as the company is. So yeah, we're going to go down that path today and seeing what are the main ingredients to become a strong business. So
the magic ingredients. And talking about the magic ingredients, I have my magic wand here that was produced by my daughter when she was 5, when you were doing magic with her all those many years ago. So.
And I did her birthday. I did her son's birthday party.
I know. It's a head mess, isn't it? Absolute head mess.
It's just mad. It's great.
Yeah. So Paul will inspire us through his story and how and why he became a highly skilled magician, and how passion, drive, zest can create a successful B2C and a B2B business brand, which Paul is both, and how he wows people with his shows, and how they and why they love to buy from him. So we'll talk about all of that today, and that will be revealed later. So you've got a question for us to kick us off, Paul. What was your question?
Yeah. So as a business leader, my main question is, what's the magic ingredient you need to become a successful business? So we've got it could be passion, it could be vision, it could be a talented team, or is it the wow factor for your customer? So in what priority would you do that? Or is it all the above? But for me, there is one that really stands out. And I think without one of them key elements, the others are just insignificant. So I'll leave that to see what you think before I divulge my little secret.
Okay, so comments in the feed, folks. There's a little bit of a delay in the feed, but you know how we roll. And if you're new to the show, then please add your comments in as we go. Ask questions of Paul as we're going along. It's an interactive show, so don't be shy. Get going on the comments. We'd love to pick those up in a moment. So, and as there's a quick delay in the feed, we're just going to pop over to Mrs. Moderator. Good morning, Sarah Jenkins. How are you doing?
Good morning.
Hi, Sarah.
Hello.
Hello. Lovely to see you.
Indeed. Loads of comments this morning. See, I'm not even going to attempt to say Bradley's surname, but good morning, Bradley. I've dipped out of that one. Good morning, Shona Taylor. She says, good morning, Paul. She just showed my comments as a LinkedIn user. So
okay.
So good morning, Shona. Thanks to Tilly, who's putting in the details for us, which is fantastic. Looking forward to hearing all your secrets.
Brilliant.
And I might share. I don't know.
You may share some as well. And good morning from John as well. Love people who are in business. They are great and love doing what they do. Absolutely brilliant. So that's that. So let's thanks Sarah for that, and join the countdown. I've done that. So back to you again, Paul. And just before you begin, let's just give you a quick round of applause, my friend. Yay! So, as we're waiting for the questions to pop into the feed, so please keep the questions going. You've got the question in the feed as well. What has been your biggest challenge? Oh no, I don't think that's the one. I think we've got the wrong one in there. Sorry about that. I forgot to update the the question that Tilly's just put in. What is the magic ingredient that creates a successful business? That's the question today. Sorry about that. So
So it's
apologies
either
for that.
passion, vision, a talented team, or is it wowing your customers?
Yeah. So, what's the magic ingredient that creates a
Mm,
successful business? There's our question.
mm.
So, answers in the feed, please. So, there we go. So, let's bring you over. So, while we're waiting for the feed to catch up, while we wait, here's a question for you. Tell us a little bit about your story, Paul, and about your passion in setting up Magical Mayhem, and
Okay.
how you got going nationally, because you're a national treasurer as well as an international one too during the pandemic. So tell us a little bit about your story.
So the birth was quite early. I think it was circus, if I'm being honest. I got into circus very early. I used to ride unicycles. I was one of the
Wow.
strange kids. So I rode unicycle from the age of about 8, and then stilts, and then they go hand in hand, circus and magic. So
Yeah.
then I started to dabble in magic a little bit, and then I got introduced to the president of the Magic Circle at Manchester,
Mm.
and Adrian he took me on a little journey, and my passion just started. I think he planted the seed, and it just grew and grew and grew. So I've been doing magic now for 45 years,
No
and
way.
yeah,
45
yeah. So
years.
so I became a professional magician 20 years ago.
20 years ago, I
Um,
remember. Yeah.
yeah, so my background before then was doing artwork. So I used to manage art studios,
Mm.
1 or 2 all over the country, and then the company was moving again. I thought, "Do you know what? I'm gonna start following my dream to see what that would look like." Never look back. It, 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 what I find really strange. I was just a snotty little boy growing up in the middle of Manchester, and now I find myself with my own business, and I still wake up just giggling that I get to do what I love to do every single day of my life, and my whole world is surrounded by, well, I would say magic, but because there is just me, there's emails, and how do you do the advertising, and how do we push the company, and how do we grow and grow and grow, and who does everything. So yeah, it is a 24-hour business, to the point that I will be lying in bed, and even though I'm deadly quiet, my wife will turn to me and goes, "Please turn your brain off. Just go to sleep." Because your brain just constantly just is thinking all the time.
Ah.
So that was my passion. But then when we got into lockdown, things for the entertainers and a lot of people, we just had to find a different way of working. So for me, I'm not going out entertaining, not hitting the stages. So how do we do that? So for the first probably 3-4 weeks of lockdown, I'm in my office thinking, from a business point of view, I need to feed my family. How do we go? So to keep me occupied, I'm also a balloon artist as well.
You're
I think
really
we may
known for
touch on.
balloon artists, which we'll come on to later,
Yeah.
but yeah, carry on.
All I did was I just created a
Mm.
big box that I put outside the back of my house, and there's a throughway into the countryside, and loads of people use it. And I just said, "Grab yourself a free balloon." So we
This was
had
during
lots of
lockdown,
balloons.
right?
Yeah, during the
Mm.
lockdown. So the word got about. So I was doing probably 30, 40 balloons a day, and I was having families knocking on my door. "We've just been to the box. There's no balloons. We've come down for a balloon. Can you do us a balloon?" So so that was keeping me active,
Mm.
and still a purpose. And because take my job away, what purpose do I have? So I still needed to feed that purpose,
Yeah.
and that was to serve, but just in a different way. And then we went on to Zoom, and this live feed became a very big world of mine.
Mm.
And I know me and you, Andy, we started at the kind of the same time
Yeah, we
looking
did.
into
We did. Yeah.
doing live stuff.
Yeah.
Um, so that opened up a brand new world. It's all about tech. And then you can get swamped, and things go wrong. But you've
It
just got
definitely
to take it
does.
on the chin.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then from a magical point of view, I then had to diversify. And just because when I do magic and I'm on stage, I'm the magician, I do the magic.
Yeah.
When you're doing Zoom, the magic has to be with you, has to be with the audience. So having to reskill myself to make them do the magic was just a massive learning curve. But loved it, absolutely.
And I love that bit about you. We're going to talk about you being a very generous giver later on, but I love the way you just gave away free balloons. And the word got round, right? The whole of Burton-on-Trent, where we live,
Yeah.
everybody was going round to Paul's house during the pandemic. Remember when we all went out for walks at lunchtime, and there'd be balloons in Paul's box. So we'll talk
Yeah.
a bit more about that later. And look, Paul, you do B2C, so you do the children's parties piece, but you also work very seriously with businesses as well, like the National Society of Surgeons, the Adventure Farm, Lloyd's, the Leaden World Bank, book launches. You've done my book launch, charity events, churches and schools, and even the Electrical Engineers Institute. So you get about a bit, right? So that's brilliant.
And that keeps me on my toes. So I think one of the key elements of why I think my business is so successful is because we do bespoke everything we do. To every customer. So you went down a list then, one of which was the surgeons. And so I'm now in a room with hundreds of surgeons. How can I, and because they think a little bit differently, I need to jump in and kind of distort their view. So we had created A4 X-rays of the human body, and it's something that surgeons do all the time. They hold up these X-rays and they look, and it's a part of their world. So knowing that, I thought, how can I then really mess with what they think they know? So you literally give them 40 cards that we've had made that look like X-rays, and you get them to shuffle them, and your back is turned, and you ask them to take anyone out and hold it up, and kind of really sink into the image and understand what they know. And then while your back is turned, you can then start calling out certain parts of the anatomy that is on the X-ray. And so this is going down the mind reading kind of thing. So you're feeding lots of bits of information and getting fed lots of bits of information just by vocally.
And messing with their heads, right? These very logical people.
And they think, all right, we'll swap for a different one. Then they hold another one up. And as soon as they do, and they start to say that in their head, you can start picking up on certain stuff and then saying, yeah, you're looking at the skull, and you mentioned one or two little technical words. So yeah, there's a lot of scripting in that, but I love it. And just talking about the electronic with the electronic company. So for this, I mean, I love this little toy. So this is a tiny little toy here, which just lights. It's just a little circuit board with lights. But in the magician's hands, this can now be a really powerful bit of kit. You can start mixing these light bulbs around and these little plastic things, and you can put a blue one on the red one and mix them all up, and then still press the triggers and it still lights the right bulb.
Brilliant.
So from their point of view, that's the world that they're very familiar with.
Yeah.
But given a chance, we can then start messing with them, and for that, that's more of a puzzle for them, because that's the way they would work. But then with the puzzle, you can then just put a little bit of scripting in there just to make it a little bit of magic.
I love that. So you're bespoking stuff around people's everyday business. I love that. Yeah. Paul, just going to give you a break for a minute. Let's come back to Mrs. Moderator and just pick up some of the comments here and some questions, I think, as we're going along. Sarah, how are you doing?
Yeah, lots going on in the chat. Very much the answer to the question about what is most important. Passion is coming through massively. Belief in what we do, enjoying what we do. So very much so. Guy says passion must pay the bills, though.
Passion must pay the bills, right? Hi, Guy. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Joe Cooper, sadly, Joe doesn't live in Burton, and she would have loved a balloon sculpture. So really, I have to say, Joe, they are amazing. Just to make you really jealous, they are amazing.
I'll show you one in a minute. So yeah, brilliant. Fantastic.
Guy says, how do you obtain your ongoing business? So how do you get your repeat business?
Oh, good question. Go for it, Paul.
It is a good question. And it's a beautiful question. So it's quite easy as a magician to go back to what you know. You've been working a script, you've been working the routine, you've been working the handling, so you're very familiar with it. The only problem is, so your customers, so I have to be constantly updating, renewing. So every customer I have, every customer, I will take a probably 2 or 3 hours routine with me, and I pick and choose to keep it real, to keep it different. But I need, and for my own sanity, I need to be changing my routine. So every time a customer sees me, I mean, for instance, they will say, "Oh, do that one where you ripped a card in half and it joined." Well, they've seen that and they know what's going to happen. So I go, "Hold on. Well, if you like that,
You'll
oh,
like
come
this.
here,
Yeah.
let me show you this one." And then I get excited then because I'm going down a path I didn't know I was going to go down. So yeah, you've just got to keep it constantly changing. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's all about the relationship for you, isn't it? And
Yeah, it is relationship. Yeah,
and then
it is.
that kind of building that wow factor with your customers, but it all gets rooted from passion and vision and talent,
Yeah.
all of those things mixed
Yes.
together, right?
Yeah. So going to the question, so it's passion, vision, talented team, and wowing the customers. I couldn't do any of that if I didn't have passion. Because if
Yeah.
I didn't have passion, that wowing the customer would be the same every time I see them. They'll go, "I've seen that. I've seen
Yeah.
that. I've seen that." And I get bored, and a talented team. So we have a team who join me on the circus, so during the summer events, and I take a circus team. I I am looking for passion more than anything. You can probably teach unicycling and how to do this, that, and the other, or how to make screws. You can teach all that, but
Yeah.
without the passion, they're going to get bored and they'll wander. So building a team is important, but passion all day long. Yeah.
Engaging through passion. And just while you're on here, one of your mates has joined in here. So great interview, guys. That's Nick Pettingale,
Yeah.
father-in-law, I take it.
Yeah. I've got to be on my best behaviour.
Brilliant. Brilliant. Let's just give you a break just for a minute. We're going to just look at some of Paul's balloon art. Now, this was filmed in Spain for the Leaden Bank, so it's a little bit of a call-out advert for them, but this just gives you a real flavour for
It's an
Paul's.
exclusive, this, by the way.
Am I allowed to show it?
Yes. Well, I've not shown anybody. Now, this is the only thing that bothers me here. The only thing that bothers me is nobody's seen this. So the balloon world will be looking at my balloons and judging, maybe. I don't know. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Okay, let's hear it goes.
Escape inflation. Start saving in US digital dollars and earn up to 7.5 annual interest paid monthly. Leaden.
Brilliant. How about that? So there you go, Joe Cooper. There's a little bit of artwork for you, and I hope you enjoyed that. I love the guy with the tattoo. You've got to watch it about 40 times before you get that. So that must have taken you all day.
I still have nightmares of that one. and it's only on screen. It's on screen for less than probably half a second.
Yeah.
But it took me 3 hours to do the tattoos on. Well, it should have only took 2 hours. At the first attempt, I was an hour into it, and then the balloon started deflating. I went, no. But this is at like
this is live, baby.
Yeah, this is 4 o'clock in the morning in my hotel room, ready. So the only problem with balloons, you have to create them as close to the production time so they look fresh and exciting. If you leave it any longer, they look tired and deflated.
That's
so
the thing.
Everything has to be done, and we had 23 characters there.
Wow, running around with those.
And then when you went on site, they're popping as well.
Oh, and the heat's getting to them.
Shouting, "We're losing lights, repair." So just running around like a headless chicken.
Oh, brilliant.
I loved it. Yeah,
Brilliant.
and we get to play in Madrid for a bit. I mean, it should have been Rio. That's where the journey started, in Rio, and then they moved it from Rio to Madrid. But I would
Okay.
have loved to have a couple of weeks in Rio.
Wouldn't it have been
Ho-ho!
brilliant? That would have been
Yeah,
great. And look,
yeah.
talking about passion, we did this poll. Let's see if I can get this. So this is similar to our question that we did. You know, as a business leader, what is the magic ingredient that creates a successful business? And 36% said passion, vision 18%, talented team 35%, wow your customers 11%. What say you here, Paul?
Yeah, all day long.
All day long.
It is all of the above. I mean, so for instance, I wouldn't be half as successful without a team behind me.
Yeah,
And
spot on.
even in the background, so my wife will see my show and she will pull me up on certain words.
Yeah.
And that even as a businessman, if you're selling a product and somehow you say a word that just stands out, it might even be a very slight swear word, or just something
A
very
technical term.
soft.
Yeah.
It could be just something soft that just stands out a mile, and that's now playing in their head instead of what you're actually saying. So I go out of my way to speak kindly about everybody. I would never belittle anybody. It's not in my DNA anyway.
No.
But I think when we talk to our customers, we've got to be right by them by saying the right thing at the right time and then following through with what you're saying. It's not all about words. It's definitely about action, because some of our actions speak louder than the words themselves.
And that leads me beautifully to the next question then, Paul. So tell us a bit about your business maxims, Paul. You know, for instance, you're just talking about, you started to hint about the customer, there, and you give the customer everything and more. You also say, my passion, your passion is my passion, right? Tell us a little bit more about that.
So the episode you did last week, and it was lovely to hear the young lady saying that she managed to study the company she wanted to invest into and get customers from. So she looked at the company, she looked how they worked, and that's how that's mirrors what we do here. So there's lots of things happening. So I don't go through agents, and the reason I don't go through an agent is because I want to have that interaction with my customer firsthand. Because when I hear what they're passionate about, I can then take their passion, tweak it, add it into my passion, and that means that the product is a far, far greater product. And that isn't just about magic. I think that's in the business world in general, when we know exactly. Well, let me change this a bit. They know what they want, but when they come to me, I really know what they need. So wants and needs are really different here, because they phoned me up because they want a product, and that product, in my case, is the magician.
Hey, I've got a coffee. Thank you very much. I love it when I get a coffee.
So when the customer rings up, they just want a magician, and that's they just want a magician.
Well, that's what they think they want, right?
Yeah, they think they want the screws, or they think they want a window frame. That's what they think they want. But because I've spent my life in this world, I'll say, well, what you need, I know what you want, I can give you that, but what you need is somebody who's going to do this, this, and this. Now, I never tell them this, but at the end of the day, I will give them what they want, what they need, and then the passion on top.
And then more.
Which is shooting always above every time. I want them, so they pay for a quality product and they're paying a nice price. But at the end of the day, I keep pushing and pushing and pushing and going above and above and above. Partly because, if I'm being honest, partly because I like to show off, and I like to say, well, I can give you this, and I can go, and I can do this, and I can do this. And so you kind of add it on, till the end of the day, the customers will come back, because they know, one, I'm genuine, two, I'm all for them, and I want them to have as much fun in this experience than I do. And so, yeah. So
I love those bits there.
So I think one of the differences in the initial phone call, though, and this is giving, and businesses will have problems with this, what I'm going to say here, because I will listen to the customer. And let's say if it's a normal conversation, they want me to do a corporate event, say, and I will say, this is my price. And then we go in, and then as they're having that conversation, they go, well, I say a corporate event. What I'm actually doing, I'm just doing a promotion on a new product we've got, and I need you to come in. And I'm thinking, well, okay, then keep talking. And I will sometimes, very rarely, but sometimes readdress my costings to give them a better price that more suits their budget. So they're one step ahead here, and I don't mind that. I really don't mind that. But what they then don't expect is they know I've lowered my prices, but when I deliver, I still deliver at the top end, irrelevant of how much they pay.
Exactly.
I'm still giving them the top end plus. And I think that's a winner for both of us there. That's why they keep coming back.
And that's why you get that reputation. So in terms of, how we apply that to us, what are the lessons there that we can pick up and apply to our own businesses, Paul, through this question?
Well, I think it is all about delivering and I think, so let's just say we take it to windows, and the window fitter comes and drops a window in. Now the window's perfectly great, it does what it's meant to do. But what the customer will remember is the interaction they have with the person fitting the window. And that is what brings you back to that. If I want another window fitting, I'm going to go back to the same company.
You're going to go back to John or whoever. Yeah,
not because the window, it's because the interaction I've had, and it's all about relationship. Relationship is massive. It is that one-on-one, to the point where I can say to my customers, it was little Johnny's birthday. He was 6, wasn't he? He was 6 last year. So he's 7 now. How's it going at school? And it is that I will remember times, dates, just because of my database here of who, what, where, and when. And so I will pull up a lot of data. And when I bring them up, I will say, Johnny, he had a great time last year. What should we do this to? What's he into? What's he getting excited about? Does he watch TV? What's his favourite character? And then I'll then develop my routine around
his favourite or her favourite stuff. I love that.
So so from a business point of view, it's that face to face. It's that interaction. It's relationship every time, irrelevant what the product is. I don't care what the product is. It's all about
it's all about the relationship. So for me, just summarizing that a little bit. So applying this to ourselves, you talk about the relationship, which is about rapport, right? You have got the ability to build really strong rapport, and that's what you're suggesting that we ought to do as well, is build that rapport. Think about, going beyond just people's wants, but to what they really need. And that takes some listening skills to do that. And, if you've built rapport, you can say to the customer, which I've said myself with my customers, I know you want this, but I don't think you need what you want. I think you need this instead. And if you're good at what you do, pardon?
Even if it's a downgrade. If they want X, Y, and Z, and they want all the singing, all dancing, and I will be honest to them and go, I don't think
you need
on this occasion that will best serve you. And so I will downgrade the product, even though I'm still going over and above. I will lessen the product. But still deliver high.
And that's all about being genuine, isn't it? And being there for your customers, really understanding your customer, having fun along the way, you said. It's all about delivery, and have a good customer database so you can remember certain facts about the people that you're working with, and particularly in your business where, there's an annual return, say with a birthday or something like that, I got it. Okay. Wow. So thank you for that. Let's just give you a break for a minute. Mrs. Moderator, let's bring you back in again. What's going on in the chat? Let's pick up some of these things that are going on in the chat.
Just people really picking up on your enthusiasm, Paul. Yeah. You are... Anybody who knows you will know that you are such a personable, genuine person. And that's really being picked up on the chat, that's coming through, your purpose, your passion, and just how that the skill of what you do goes hand in hand with who you are as well. Something that hasn't been mentioned that I'm going to bring up. I just love the fact that when you communicate with people, you learn sign language as well. So actually, you are so completely inclusive, because you don't want anybody to miss out. And I just think that is unbelievable. To be able to do what you do and sign it is just
at the same time.
Awesome. Totally awesome.
It is incredible to see.
But there again, that is all about the customer. Why should the deaf or the blind? I could just give you millions of stories where I've come in contact with the blind who I've just walked up to a table. It was at a restaurant and there was 2 blind people there, and I introduced myself and I said I'm a magician, and they went and I went, let's have some fun. Let's do it.
Fun. Love that.
Yeah, and then you've got the learning disability. So my main strength is Makaton. So there's Makaton and there's BSL. BSL is British Sign Language, which is a language, and Makaton is a learning tool. But there's one picture that was taken of me many years ago, and I was talking to a young girl, and I can tell you her name, and it's engraved on my heart because on the photograph, I'm just pointing to my hand like this. Oh, let me get that in camera. So I'm just pointing to my hand like this, which is the L. So I know her name was Lily. So it's just me bending forward and just doing this, and that is everything I'm about. It's having that relationship with a person, irrelevant of who they are, and having that connection. So yeah, signing is a massive part of who I am and my business.
That's brilliant. Yeah, and just to pick up on some of the comments here that along those lines, if you're not having fun when you're doing what you do, it will shine through and affect your business. So actually having fun, means that it's infectious, right? People catch the fun, right? People catch the joy. People catch the passion.
Yeah.
And that's what I remember, isn't it? People remember somebody who absolutely is very genuine about what they do.
Yeah.
And that does shine through.
It does.
And it's not wearing that mask. I think that's taken me, initially it took me a few years to get out of. So I'm acting as a magician, but when I'm on stage, that is the real me. And it's just me having a laugh and a giggle. And the more I laugh, the more the audience laugh. And if I went up there and I was tight and rigid and nervous, that's the response I'm going to get. And I think in the world of business, if you go, I mean, perfect example. So the lady that did the Body Shop, when she's talking about her products, she lights up because irrelevant what the product is. I mean, she's talking about soap. How excited can you get about soap?
Very.
I know. So she will point out
a
particular piece of soap, and she will tell you the history of the background, where it's come from, how it was made, what ingredients, and she can do that with every one of her products. And that's what I want. If I ask somebody into my home to deliver something, I want him to go, yeah, you've got a good bit, you got a good window here. I tell you, yeah, them joints on there really tight, they'll fit really nice. And I love that because I know I can relax. The guy I'm talking to, he knows what he's talking about. He's happy, he's giggleful, he's done a good job.
Giggleful.
Yeah, giggleful, yeah.
Giggleful, a new word, folks.
And that's the world I live in. I live in a very giggleful
world. Brilliant. Yeah. What else is going on in the chat, Sarah, so that we can just catch up?
Laurie says, government contracting could not be more boring, but I love my business and my contracting officers know it. So it might be a very dry industry, but if you're passionate about what you do, it still comes through, doesn't it?
Yeah.
There's a story behind everything we do, and sharing that story, I think, really does help.
And you know what? That comes through with Laurie in spades, doesn't it? Perfect. Thank you, Laurie. What else?
Elaine Godley says,
I
take my hat off to you. She also does British Sign Language, and remember how hard and fun it was to learn 30 plus years ago. So yeah, lots
interested. I just bounce. I wonder if she's still doing it because you forget it so quick. I'm just wondering how much she remembers.
There you go, Elaine. How much do you remember?
And just for her, I'm going to do my favourite sign just for her, which is turtle, and it's this one. And you wiggle your little thing. It feels weird. It really feels weird. I can see loads of people trying this while they're just watching that. Yeah,
brilliant. And we can have, is that Elaine? Is that Elaine?
Yes, that's Elaine.
There you go. There you go, Elaine. There you go.
Well, I wouldn't say that's Elaine. I would do that's Elaine.
Okay. Second finger in. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So
that's Elaine. Fine. Okay. And Maria just says this. I love your style, Paul. You're so genuine and honest. Trust is massive, and it sounds like you really build this with your clients. No wonder they keep coming back. That's a key, isn't it? And yeah, well said, Maria. Brilliant.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Yeah. So, where are we? So when we met a few days ago, we met at Nando's, and which is, who doesn't love chicken and chips, right? Brilliant. So, unless you don't like chicken and chips, but just putting that in there. So when we met a few days ago, you talked about your passion at being best at what you do and being known for the one thing. And that really resonated me. Unwrap that a bit for us, Paul. What do you mean by that? What's the one thing? What's being best?
So I love this. So if I can choose to work every day of my life. Yeah. I'm very fortunate that I've got enough customers out there to say yes every day. The only problem with saying yes every day is you're working and working and working, and you don't get time to focus on the business. So the 2 days I have off, where it's like a weekend, could be a Tuesday for me or a Wednesday. I take this everywhere.
Oh yes, you do your Magic Mayhem Black Book, right?
Yeah. So this is a little sneaky as well. So in this little black book here, I'm gonna wiggle it about so you can't quite
you can't see the trick.
You can't see what I've written.
We'll play it back really slowly, Paul.
So this is all live stuff. Yeah. So I found that I grow exponentially when I'm not doing anything. Yeah. So let me build upon that. So I do go to Nando's probably 2 or 3 times a week, and I will spend, and they know me very well, and I will spend 2 or 3 hours in there each time. So I start off with, and I'm doing it today as well. Yeah. So I start off with a blank page, and I just let my imagination run and just develop and write, and it's all about business. So it could be marketing, it could be everything, staging, it could be tricks. But when I'm at peace, my brain can then do that and grow and grow and grow. So yeah, if I was constantly busy, my business wouldn't be as big as what it is. I need them times to sit back, relax, to reflect, to tighten up, to replay stuff in my head. How can I go to the next level? And so yeah, I'm constantly writing. So I probably write maybe 5 new magic routines a week. But out of that, if I write 100 routines, I probably would only use 1 or 2. But I do give a lot of my stuff away as well, because when they're formed, they're fully formed. So it's handling, it's scripting, it's movement, it's a product, it's everything. And I will see that routine and go, oh, such and such a body, that'll be perfect for them. And I'll say, look, you can have it, do what, if you don't want to use it, fair enough, but there's something there for you. But yeah, at rest. And I think from a business point of view, I need that rest for many reasons. But for me, it's
your thinking time. I love that. Yeah. Some people use the car for that. Cars that just don't get you from A to B. They're a machine for thinking in, right? For you, it's your thinking time is, in your restaurant, Nando's, local to you. You know the staff. You're comfortable there. You like the food. But actually, for you, that's the creative time for you.
Yeah, and I don't get distracted. So I've got my office, and I could do it in my office quite happily. But in the office, you've got emails, you've got the phone, you've got, I could just pick up that paperwork. So I need to remove myself from everything, just so it is just me and my brain. And I call it my magic brain. You dip into your palace.
Magic brain.
Beautiful. Yeah, and just wander, going from room to room, trying to work out. Because I design for every customer, so I need my brain to constantly think what are my customers' needs for this. So today I've got this big electrical gig coming up, so I'm going to now step in. So this afternoon I'll be in Nando's, and my my brain was
We'll see you there.
yeah, and just thinking about electrical, how do they see the world of electrics, and then how do I put my passion on
so that you can spark off around the electrics, right?
There you go.
And you
That's
get
what we
plugged
do.
in.
Yeah.
And all wired up. Oh man. Oh, come on. Come on, that's brilliant. I like that. Love that bit about downtime. Just bring Sarah back in again. What's going on about downtime in the room, Sarah?
Yeah, very much, Matthias. It's important to find balance. There can be perks to being a yes man, but at times we should say no too. And I think, very much the resonation is just taking time out of being in the business, as you say, to then have a look at the business. Where do I want it to go? Because you can get so bogged down in the day to day. Joe Cooper says creativity, as you say, Paul, is very key. Our brains need time to refresh.
And don't they just?
New content.
Yeah. Particularly with creative stuff, and actually power is in the creativity. You mentioned Rebecca Jenkins last week was talking about the same thing. Look, how do you wow your customers? Be transformational. How do you get to transformational? Well, you need to be creative. How do you get to creative? Well, you need that downtime to get there. So, brilliant. Thank you. Okay. Are we done on the comments for now, Sarah, or is there more coming in?
Elaine does the same in Fab Portuguese Cafes. She says, the older I get, the less I do and the more I achieve.
Oh,
there's a lot in there, Elaine. Absolutely.
Yeah,
we're loving that one, Elaine. Yeah, brilliant. Brilliant. Great stuff. Okay.
Lots of love in the room, though, for Paul.
Lots of love in the room for you. Well, it's a Paul thing, that, isn't it? So wherever Paul goes, there's love in the room. And talking about that, Paul, I know you, and we're starting to get to know you too for being a passionate giver of gifts. And you've got an incredible heart for generosity. Tell us more about this so that we can be inspired and perhaps apply these kind of principles to pass on too, because that's how you roll, right? So show us how you roll and let's learn from you.
So I lockdown was a very interesting time,
wasn't it? Yeah.
Just not being able to provide for my family pushes you into, what do I do? So you end up giving and anyway, it was recognized.
Oh yes, I know where we're going with this now.
Yeah, it was recognized, and it's quite embarrassing. I'm really embarrassed, in all honesty, because we don't do it to be seen. You kind of do it in covert, don't you? You kind of hide it. So the council, there's a big company in Burton, which is Trent and Dove Housing, and they're a huge company, and they'd recognised that in lockdown there were certain people stepping up and serving, and my name was thrown forward for several things. But anyway, so my name was thrown forward. So I just laughed it off and went, there's some amazing, I mean, really serving the community, just unbelievably strong. And my name was chucked into the pot, and I won COVID Hero of the Year.
Whoa, 2021, right?
Yeah, and it was like, it's just weird.
Well done, you.
It's weird. But yeah, so for me, I buzz. I get that kick from the customer just getting that kick as well.
Yeah.
That's I want to be the best version of me, no matter what. I want to get to my final last breath and look back.
With a magic trick in your hand.
Yeah, I go. Yeah, I give it everything I had, and that's where I want to get to. No, honestly.
I love that. And the other things that Paul does a lot of, he mentioned earlier that he'll tailor his price according to people's needs and wants. But, the great thing about running your own business is that you call the shots with your fees. And there are times where Paul will just give magnanimously, and do it beautifully, with no fee or reduced fees or whatever. Money isn't the important thing here. It is the customer is everything, right? And that experience for those people that you work with is absolutely everything.
Yeah. and just what goes around comes around. So what was really nice, just a quick story that I overheard somebody, and she was going to serve her community, and she was putting on a big event and food and entertainment, and I heard her language, and I thought, I'll tell you what, I'll give you half price.
Yeah.
I said, well, just do it half price. And then as the conversation kind of came to a close, and she just mentioned, she goes, oh, I think you know my husband. Who's your husband? And she goes, you bumped into him at a do it like a focus DIY store, and there was this old man, and he was sawing up wood. Yeah, and he was struggling. It really was. It was freezing outside, and I just pulled up, and we ended up chatting. Anyway, so 2 hours later, we're still chatting, and I've got his name, David Hill. And then this woman, as she's putting down the phone, she goes, oh, you know my husband, David Hill? And I went, yes, I do know your husband, David Hill. I said, I tell you what, because he was such a nice, I'll just give you the party. I'll just give it you.
Brilliant.
I'll rock up. We'll do the 2 hours. We'll do a 2-hour stage show. We'll have a laugh and a giggle. Job done. And I'm looking forward to it. I get there. David's there, David Hill. And he's got a big envelope, an A4 envelope. And he goes, I've got your present. Don't open it yet. Oh, okay. Get home. Open the envelope. And it's... Are you ready for this?
Go away.
Draw close. In the envelope was the deeds of an island. Yes.
The deeds of an island
in Scotland. What? Just what? So Scarabée
is your island.
You're looking at a lord here. Get going down, I tell you.
The lord of your own island. How beautiful is that?
What goes around comes around. But it was a really good journey.
Yeah, and Elaine calls that karma. She says, you receive, when you give unconditionally. Congratulations, Paul. Karma.
Tenfold.
Beautiful. And it's a great spiritual principle. Now, Paul, we're sort of coming to a sort of natural close here, and time is marching on. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about, talk us through this, your call to action here for business to business events here. And I just want to frame this up. Look, just imagine that, you've got I don't know, a stand at Earl's Court or the NEC or wherever, and you've got a magic man like Paul who does a trick that's equivalent to your business, like the print industry for Joe, and for Elaine it would be the disc profile, and for Mateus it'd be something else. It would be very bespoke to them, and you're meeting customers and drawing them into the stand with your magic.
Okay,
Love that.
We're going to test me out here. I would like you now. We haven't set this up. Andy, just call out any industry, any product, and I will tell you what that would look like from my point of view if I was presenting for this product. What's it going to be, Andy?
Okay, it's going to be mechanical engineering.
Mechanical engineering. So for that, right, let's go into my head. Okay, so for that, I have to bespoke everything I do. So from my point of view, I will talk to the MD or whoever and say, right, what are your key aspects that you will be trying to feed out from your stand? So it might be terminology, it might be the ethics, it might be the how strong the material is, it might be how unique the product is. So I take all that on board and then weave that into my scripting. So now we're talking about engineering.
Yeah.
So there we could have people who are designers, for instance. So one of the routines, which is quite an easy one to do, is you could get somebody to just quickly sketch something on a piece of paper, on a business card, say, for instance, and then hold it safe and hold it towards them. And then from my point of view, I would feed that off them.
You would mind read that.
Try and replicate the image they've drawn.
That structural drawing.
But from that start, so that's the end goal. Doing the duplication, but it's how I get to the end goal. So I will then talk about certain key elements of the business to weave that into the design, for instance. So and at the end, So my job, in all honesty, once I'm at the stand, is to engage, to build up crowds. If I get 1 or 2 people around, that will then go to 4. If I get 4 people around me, it'll go to 8. Now, if
Yeah,
I've got
it's
8
like the
people
dancing
around me,
man, right?
yeah,
Brilliant.
all of
Yeah.
a sudden there's 20 or 30 people standing around the stand
Yeah.
while I'm keeping them entertained and having a laugh and a giggle and using the products that. So if it's a bespoke engineering company that have just designed a door handle,
Yeah.
so why don't I use that door handle? I could put it on the front of my box, and every time we pull it, a noise or something magical happens,
Wonderful.
and then they can go straight into the stand and see the products
Brilliant.
firsthand.
That's great. I get it. I
So
get it. Yeah.
it's just, but at the end of the day, I'm there for a laugh and a giggle. I
Yeah.
mean, a lot of these conferences, I've been to loads, can be quite dull.
Mm.
And that's because when I was
Spice
in
it up,
business,
baby. Yeah.
So when I was in business and I was working for these big art companies, we was at Earl's Court and we had this. I mean, we were very fortunate. We had the big
The
stands,
big stands.
and I was very fortunate to be the magician on our stand and know the product 100%.
Beautiful. I get
But
it. I get it.
just
Yeah.
seamless. The sales staff
Fantastic.
can come
Yeah.
out and it's we're just conjoined at the hips.
Yeah.
And
And if
if
it's an accounting company, Paul, you could do magic beans, right?
I mean,
It's
the world is
endless.
your oyster.
It's endless.
Yeah, I
And
mean, just on the accountancy, there's so much um, uh, uh, mathematical magic, self-working magic that just works around numbers. There's some great stuff out there at the moment.
there
Yeah,
is. I'm just looking at your website here. There's a video that plays here, and it's just not playing at the moment. And
that's right.
but we've got the magic, marvelous balloons. We've got twisting parties, doorstep balloons. I mean, you mentioned it. It's all there,
Yeah,
folks. So
we're very weird, and
yeah,
that's when the customers ring up, they think they want a magician, which they do, but because we've got such a broad spectrum of product, we can interlace any of them elements.
fantastic.
I mean, one of the nice things that I do like is when they go all in and they go to the big package. They don't know this, but they do get a very personalised balloon. And when I say balloon, you instantly think of kids.
No,
I
we
do
saw
balloon.
those balloons. We get that. They're a
Yeah,
complicated balloon. Paul, we're going to
I
have to
do
kind of move
multiply.
on, I'm
Yeah,
afraid. So,
go on then. I'm
yeah,
all yours.
just all right. Yeah, no problem. So, yeah, thanks again, Paul, for enlightening us today with
My
such a
pleasure, my friend.
playful conversation about relationship, about wowing your customers' passion. And we loved having you on the show, my friend. And
Thank you.
yeah, just absolutely marvelous. And just a quick one on our sponsors, Ghost. So Ghost have asked me to play this little show reel of Ghost. So here it is, just quickly coming up for Ghost. This is our sponsors. Brilliant. Love that. So Ghost are a brand and design agency with an exceptional team of highly skilled and vibrant people that help develop and shape brands that inspire businesses just like yours, just like Magical Mayhem, although Magical Mayhem was done by Paul because he's a graphic artist as well. And just before we close off, here's Sarah just to talk a little bit about what we do at PDX before I come on to the goose for next week, folks.
Yeah, just really talk about, going back to what Paul says about the passion and the vision. And I think at the moment in business, there's a bit near sometimes,
Yeah,
a bit bogged down and a bit like, if you want to get your team ignited, if you want to, put a spring in their step and reignite that passion for your business, that's what Andrew does with your teams. He's got some fantastic approaches.
Passionate approaches.
If you want a bit of oomph in your team, give him a call, get in touch and see what we can do to help, basically.
Yeah, and we can make magic happen just like Paul's brand. So
not quite like Paul, but
not quite like Paul. But I've got my magic wand here, you see, so that Paul developed with my daughter those many years ago. Oh, lovely. So the goose for next week, folks, and we'd just like to finish on time. So the goose for next week is Tuesday, the 21st of February at 8:45 UK time. We spread the love by hanging out again with Lisa Baker. Now, Lisa was on the show sometime in November 2021, way back. And our theme is about vision boards and how to create a purpose-driven life using a vision board. Now, we did this earlier on, as I said, 12, 13, 14, 15 months ago. But Lisa's come a long way since then. And we're going to look at vision boards and how to create a purpose-driven life. That's where we're going. We think you're going to love it. So we can't wait. Be there or be square, folks. And thanks again to our fantastic guest, Mr. Paul Brown, who I think we probably need to give a round of applause to. If I could just find the round of applause. Here we go. So we're going to finish out on our usual wrap-up ghost outro closer, folks. So thank you very much for being part of the show. Quick reminder that Leaders Live is a free show for all leaders, directors, managers and entrepreneurs who are interested in business growth. That's Siri speaking as well on my watch. Through infotainment and enjoy taking part in interactive extraordinary conversation, just like we've had this morning with Paul, folks. So together in this community, we aim to make the world better, folks, and we want to bring a spirit of freedom, of joy, of fun, as Paul talked about, through the feel-good factor, as Paul did loads and spades of today. So that's a little bit about us, and we're going to close off now and wave goodbye to you through our outro closers. So thanks very much. Ta-ra a bit. We'll see you again next week. Thanks for watching. We'll wave you out. Brilliant. And thanks again to Paul. Brilliant. And we'll see you again next week. So thank you very much indeed. So from Sarah, from Paul and myself, see you later, alligator. See you in a while, crocodile. Cheers for now. Bye-bye. Thanks again. Bye-bye, folks.